Yay. Okay. That worked okay. Say hi as you come in. Let me just fix this a little bit. Maybe I can push this back. Just give a little bit of a wider screen, right? Just as long as I don't push it off the desk. There we go. That's a little bit better. Say hi as you come in. I know it'll take a couple of minutes. Wednesdays, YouTube doesn't not quite used to me going live, and I didn't go live last Wednesday, right? So we'll see who pops in today. I was just having dinner. So if you don't mind, I'm just popping things in my mouth here and there. If you don't mind, I guess I can wait, but it's just that it's warm now, right? And after the live, it'll be hard and cold and unappetizing, right? But it was only $1, right? They're just little Michelinas, taco bites. Oh, Andrew, hi. Oh, good. Yeah, I don't know what they are. They were $1.25 as a promotion. And I thought, well, for $1.25, hey, I got dinner, right? Right? So if you think about it, if worse comes to worse in the world, you could probably survive on $30 or $40 a month in groceries, right? Yum, yum. Sorry. Let me turn some more light on in here. Much better. I made my sister a face mask. See? Leopard skin. Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. I almost knocked my coffee right off the desk. See? And then it's reversible. She can do it in black. So I just finished it. So I'm just gonna wash it. I took some over to my other sister and her family yesterday. And her daughter was wearing my face mask. So I was really pleased with that because I wasn't too sure whether or not they would wear them or not, right? But yeah, looks like we're going back to business on May 4th. Is that just the strangest thing, right? Government has to do something, right? The government has to do something because emotionally, Canadians, they never really had to deal with this kind of trauma, right? Like this is probably the worst thing that ever happened to Canada in the history. I don't know for sure, but it's pretty bad, right? And lots of people are emotionally, not good with it, right? And if you don't try to appease them a little bit, right? Everybody's been a patient and getting out, but a lot of people don't understand, right? It's like me when recycling came out and I fought it, right? I'm never had to recycle before, but it's good, right? It's good. We're saving lives that way too, right? Animals, if nothing else. But yeah, because of the economy, right, Andrew? It's so they're trying. They know that virus is going to go crazy, but they're hoping that it won't be too bad. And when the public sees those numbers go up, maybe they could do another lockdown. But I think it would have been best if we all just locked down now, right? If the whole world could lock down for 14 days, if the whole world could lock down, right? Right? But how practical would that be? Like, how could you actually get that done, right? Just as long as it doesn't get in like to the small villages and stuff, right? Like the small villages, there's a lot of villages out there that still don't get a lot of outside interaction and stuff, right? Like what about our reserves here, right? Especially in Manitoba, we have so many reserves. Like what if those colds got onto the reserves and all those poor people, right? Like you could wipe out a whole, is it a tribe? Is that what you call them? A tribe? Do you still call them tribes here, right? Right? But wouldn't that be absolutely just sad, right? So yeah, it's the most vulnerable that is at the highest risk, eh? It's the low incomes and it's the senior citizens, right? It's the handicapped and stuff, right? So yeah, it's I feel better with my mask because I know my masks are good. They're gonna block out double. They're gonna block out. They're not might not be 85, 90, right? But I'm not around a lot of people, so if I have something that I can quickly put on that's in my pocket or I have a pouch for bike riding. I got a waist pouch that I keep everything in, right? That I could just quickly, put it on and feel a little bit comfortable. I don't catch colds on the norm. On the norm, I don't catch colds, right? But that I do catch them. I had a doozy last year. I had a doozy that it wiped me out for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, I was so sick. I felt like I was ready to go to the hospital. I couldn't go outside or anything. I had to force myself, right? Yeah. And I'm at that age, right? I'm in that vulnerable section in that age, right? Even though I'm healthy, right? I know people who got this virus and who were healthy and it didn't work out for them, right? Yeah, we should have waited, right? It's going to be much more costly this way, I think. But you know what? You have to. When the population is fragmented like that and into little groups and stuff like that, like you can't, and because it's the government, it's not like, you can say, well, you can't please everybody, you might as well please yourself, right? The government represents Canada and its people as a whole, right? So you have to take everybody into consideration, right? So they're kind of like in a rock and a hard place, so everybody, you're responsible for yourselves, right? Like this virus is non-discrimination, right? Like non-discriminatory. It's gonna take down whoever. Like it makes me nervous, right? Like I don't get scared of it. Like ask anybody. Like I'm not afraid of anything, right? And yet this has me a little bit uncomfortable, right? But again, we're Canadians. We don't see this kind of trauma, right? We've never been through anything hairy scary, like at least the generations that I'm in and younger, right? you know I was too young for the Vietnam War, right? I was under 10, so I wouldn't have paid attention to the Vietnam War. I was in the military when Somalia was going on and when Croatia was going on, and Croatia was the one that impacted my husband and then impacted our marriage. And but the marriage was probably not going to work out anyway, right? So yeah, so you can't blame it on one thing or another, right? Yeah. I know what you're talking about that, Andrew. When I was 17, I didn't know it, right? But I got bronchitis and I used to keep everybody up at night, right? Because I couldn't lay down because my lungs would fill up with fluid and stuff. And when I hacked, I had to hack really, really loud, and it drove everybody crazy. Like it drove everybody crazy. And you try and cover your mouth and cough into your pillow, and like I was going to school and I was working at the same time. And yeah, right at the end of it, right? I was almost, oh, it was a long time, almost a year. I had that bronchitis, almost a year. And I know I was older. I know it was like my last year of high school or just before. So I know I was 17 or 18. But I left it so long that every time I got a cold, I had to be very, very careful, right? Because I would hack every time I got a cold, it would get into my lungs, and I would have to hack to get the fluids out. Hi, Kim. Oh, awesome. That's nice. You got Kim tonight too. How have you been doing? I'm sure being inside is not made a big impact on your life like that, but I'm sure for groceries and getting out and doctor's appointments and stuff, Kim, eh? Yeah. Yeah, let me know how you're doing. I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks. I think it just a minute last week, eh, when you popped in. Oh, Andrew, interesting. I've been studying uh NDEs, they call them near death experiences. And I've been watching some of the YouTube stories. I stopped it last week, right? Because I thought, because things come into my life and then it happens to me and I didn't want it to happen to me. So I've been just kind of hoping YouTube wasn't going to suggest me anymore, right? But I saw last night they suggested another one, but not like they were. So I'm kind of hoping in the next couple of days I won't see them anymore, right? But yeah, I've been reading some of those stories, right? How people get their revelations and they find God, and they, whatever religion that they're in, they find their religions and stuff like that, right? Yeah, it was really really interesting, and they're all kind of a little bit the same, like the base of them, the stories, they seem kind of like the same, right? The light, and not wanting to leave, and then coming back in, right? Yeah, I would love to hear. Andrew, would you write me your story, your near death experience story? Would you want to share that with me? I would love to hear your near death story. I would love to hear that story. I bet you it's really interesting, especially with your family background and everything. Yeah, I might be able to give you some insight or something. You never know, right? I would love to hear that story. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, they say sometimes that they only feel like they've lasted moments, but when they look at the clock and stuff, they say that sometimes they're like gone for days, right? I was reading one, he was a big guy and he was young too, right? He was young too, and he was having heart pain, chest pains and stuff, and his friends were all there, and none of his friends were listening to him when he's saying that there was something wrong and everything. And he was having a very, very rare kind of attack where like 95% of people die from it, right? And he said somehow he managed to get himself down to the outside and out to his front yard before he collapsed, right? And it was the only thing that saved his life, right? Was that he was able to get outside to the yard, because his friends didn't even believe him that there was something wrong, right? Yeah, and then he said the same thing when he was in the ambulance, that they had an experience. But he said he changed so much, right? He was into spirituality, I think, this gentleman, but but yeah, he found God too, right? Oh, really, Kim? Yeah, see, there's a lot of those experience out there, isn't there? It kind of makes you wonder if it's that common. There's got to be some kind of truth to it, right? It's worth contemplating or doing a little bit of research, or do what I did, right? If it does, that stuff does interest you, like Google and watch some of those videos, right? Oh, I would love to hear it, Andrew. I love your letters. Your emails make my day. I love your emails, right? Especially when I've watched too many videos or something. I just love to unwind by reading. And I would love to hear your story, right? I don't dream myself. Like I'm sure I have dreamed, right? But I never wake up thinking, oh, I have a dream, or I never wake up in the middle of the night, in the middle of a dream or anything like that. I'm one of those people that, oh, I'm tired now, and then, I grab my cat. I grab my cat and I wander off to bed and throw the cat on the bed. I turn my fan on, and yeah, put my pajamas on, and I crawl into bed, and yeah, by the time I got the blanket over me, I'm usually out, right? And then when I'm awake, right? Unless I got a full bladder, like unless otherwise I'm out until morning, right? So it does, right? Because I hear stories and stuff, because I hear that people who don't dream, actually do dream, right? They just don't remember their dreams for whatever reason, but they said that everybody, no matter what, dreams because they can tell by the eye movements. Well, I don't have anybody in bed to watch how I sleep or anything, right? But yeah, like I've never dreamed, so I don't know. I don't know. I think I think so much during the day. Like my brain doesn't stop during my waking moments. My brain is always going, right? If it's not going in a task, it's going. So the only way that anybody or anything could get a hold of me, it would be in my sleep when my brain shuts off, right? Yeah. So that's why I don't worry about meditating and stuff, because when I wake up in the morning, I can feel even though I don't remember dreams or anything. Like sometimes I have thoughts and stuff, like I'm coming out of some thoughts and stuff, and so I know something goes on when I sleep. So I don't worry about it because I feel good. If I emotionally feel good and physically feel good, I'm not gonna worry about it. And also I would have a, ooh, like, yeah, that feeling that something's wrong, but you're not quite sure what it is, right? When you're not quite sure what it is. Yeah. Mm. I was gonna get a nice cup of coffee. I went for a bike ride before, right, in between my live on my Instagram and this live. I decided to go off, and I wanted to get one because before I spend the money on useless by going and get coffee shop coffee or Tim Hortons coffee or something, right? Then I better go get a container of milk so I don't have to worry about cream at the very least, right? I've been drinking that creamer, that coffee mate creamer, that double coffee mate creamer. I really, really like it. I really like it now that I'm not putting any sugar in or anything. That was the mistake, right? I was putting the sweetener in, plus I was putting the creamer in, right? So, and I should have thought double, right? But I thought, oh, that's just the name they call it, double cream, right? But yeah, I was putting sugar in my so it was super, super sweet. But I really, really like it now. So I'm not gonna bring milk into my house anymore. So that's pretty good, right? I don't want to eliminate everything, right? I would just like to cut things down a little bit, but I was basically only using milk for my coffee and tea anyway. So I might as well just give up the cream altogether, and probably my intestines would probably be a little bit happier, right? Because yeah, I don't do the dairy well anymore like I used to, right? I used to have no problem with dairy, but yeah, my stomach gets upset with the dairy, right? And just as bad with like 2% milk as if the 18%, it doesn't matter the percentage, right? Sometimes that regular milk is even worse in my system. Oh, isn't that something that you don't sleep well at night? Well, that's because, see, it's habit, right? Sleep is a habit. Sleep is something that has to be on habit, right? Like the time, like you could pick what times to sleep and stuff, right? But it has to be pretty much on based on habit, right? You know, I do often will sleep or stay up till midnight, but no matter what, if I stay up till midnight, that doesn't mean you get extra time in the morning. You still get up at 7, or yeah, I usually get up about 7. Lately I've been getting up, around 6:30, but I've been spending time with the cat, playing with the cat in bed and stuff for, 15 minutes or so, right? But yeah, I'm a very good sleeper. I've never had, and I'm not a napper, right? And that's because I have such good sleeping habits, right? I have such good sleeping habits that you don't feel the necessity to take those naps during the day, right? You know. Interesting. But lots of people don't sleep well. My sister doesn't sleep well, right? My sister doesn't sleep well at all. Like she'll go to bed at 8 o'clock and she'll be up, not be able to go to sleep, finally doze off at 10, and then she'll be up at midnight, and then she'll stay up and watch TV till 4 o'clock in the morning, and then she'll go back to bed for an hour, and then she gets up and she goes to work, right? And that's because she set that habit, right? She says, "Oh, I can't sleep. I can't sleep." I says, "No, well, look at your habit. It's a habit, right? It's a habit." Yeah, you have to get yourself in a routine. You have to, when it comes to sleep, like sleep will mess you up, right? Sleep will mess you up if you don't can take control of it. And without enough sleep, right? Without enough sleep, like I can't imagine how people function without enough sleep, right? Like I can do it, right? Because there are times when you have to pull it together, right? Or you've had a bad night, or your sister's gone to the hospital. Like things happen, right? Where you don't get sleep, or somebody wants you in work extra early, right? So those days do happen, but when they do happen, then they don't interfere with you in any way, right? And the only reason those days happen to me is because I have this mental note, because I don't use the alarm clock, right? That I have this mental thing that I'm going to miss the alarm, right? That I'm going to miss the alarm. Like I have an alarm clock, but the alarm doesn't work, right? So it's pretty good that I'm on but I use my Google, right? Like I just say, "Hey, Google," and it'll give me set my alarm for me. But then I just take my phone to bed with me, right? And then the alarm will go off. Oh, okay. Maybe you can put a blanket over the window, right? Wouldn't that be nice? But the thing with me is I like to see the headlights and stuff driving down the street, lighting up I have a disco ball on my ceiling in my bedroom, right? So when so when the cars drive down the street, it hits the disco ball, and if I give the ball a little tap, it'll swing for an hour, right? And it'll put pretty lights all over the bedroom and stuff. Yeah, but I haven't seen my disco ball, but I do. I like, and the street workers in winters, because they have the red lights and the yellow lights on top of the trucks and stuff. So when they go down the streets and it lights up, like fireworks inside the bedrooms. I like that, right? But I know what you mean about that light, because, especially in the summertime, when it gets light early, right? It gets light here like 4 o'clock in the morning, the sun's coming up, right? And, you're ready. You just want to sleep, but it's like the middle of the day already in your living room by 6 o'clock in the morning. So you might as well get up, right? So I've got a set of blinds and I have a set of drapes, right? Oh, Nancy's here. Oh, Nancy's here. Nancy dear. Oh, so happy to see Nancy, right? Because she wasn't with us on Sunday. But yeah, Andrew was saying that he was praying for you in his email for me. So that was really, really nice, right? Because like I said, yeah, we've all had a crappy year, but it's time for us to come out of it now, right? It's time for us to come out of it and, start looking forward to some good stuff, right? A little bit of, a little bit of good stuff for us. Oh, well, then that's a good sign if you were just fast asleep, right? Because I know you haven't we were actually talking about that, Nancy, right? Problem sleeping. But that was good, because you were saying that the pain and everything, like, you were having some problem sleeping. So I'm glad that you were fast asleep. Like that's a good sign, right? Are you feeling any better right now, Nancy? Are things starting to settle down? Are you feeling a little bit better? Yeah, because you're a big part of your team. Nancy's over on this channel too, right? Yeah, she's got people all over the world rooting for her, right? Yeah, yeah. That Nancy, that's a fighter for you. I put my dad's sign here, right? I noticed the paper on it is drying, so I might take it in and get it laminated, or I might have somebody put some lacquer on it for me, or maybe I'll pick up a can of lacquer if I think that, it won't. Yeah, I'd be heartbroken if I ruined it, right? If I ruined it. The right lung or both lungs, Nancy? Oh, right now was the end of the sentence. Okay. Oh, Nancy, 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 Nancy. What can we do for Nancy? What can we do for Nancy besides pray, right? Right? Send out some good mojo there, you know? Right? Oh, that makes me. Well, you know what? Like we know you're here, Nancy. So yeah, take it easy tonight. I wouldn't even worry about participating, right? I'm sure Andrew will include you in the conversations and everything, and me too, all of us, right? Yeah, I would just say just lay back and try and relax, right? That's the thing though. We don't want you in the hospital at all. We don't want you there for checkups. We don't want you at the hospital for any reason at all, right? We want you resting and getting better at home. That's what we want. Ah, okay. Oh, Nancy. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, right? It's time, everybody. It's time for some. Oh, Sharon's here. Look at Sharon's here. Holy moly, we haven't seen you forever, Sharon. How are things going with you? How's Sid? How are you two doing? Yay, Sharon's here. I haven't seen Sharon forever, right? Yeah, yeah, excellent. I'm so glad you're here. But yeah, we'd like to know. Yeah, because Sharon's in California. It's got to be pretty scary down there right now. Yeah, with all that's going on. Yeah, everybody, you want to say hi to my little porker? Hey, my little porker with no ear. Huh? With no ear. She's such a good cat. She's such a good cat, eh? Yeah. Hey, you're a good cat. Yeah. And she grunts like a pig. She doesn't meow. She grunts like a pig, right? Yeah. Get her close to the microphone so she can grunt like a pig. Hey? Huh? What? No, she won't grunt now. Yeah. But she likes to look around and stuff. Yeah, she's a very good cat, right? You want to go down? Oh, she's got a bed. She's got a bed right here beside me, right? So I can bend down. But yeah, I had to take the treats away from the desk, right? Because she was just like driving me crazy for treats, like all day long, just begging for treats, right? So now I leave them at the kitchen window because I only go sit in the window when I'm doing my Instagram post, or when I'm having my coffee in the morning, or when the neighbor's playing with the dog. So this way I can control how many treats she's getting during the course of the day. Plus I can get my work done without her bugging me, right? Bugging me for food. Yeah, made my sister a face mask. Look at it. Didn't I do a good job? Yeah, I made her this one, like tiger skin, right? Tiger, and all it is just ponytail ties, right? You see, they just wrap around. It just wraps around the ears, right? And then yeah, they're cool. And then it's reversible, so she can do it. She can wear it in the black. She just, depending on the outfit that she has, right? And she can just put it on her ear. And yeah, mine works out really good. I go for a bike ride and everything, and it's really light, so she can get some air. Like, it's not 85 or 90 grade, right? But it's better than nothing, because my sister wouldn't wear anything, right? So I'm just gonna wash it with some I think I have some Woolite under the bathroom sink, so I'll wash it with Woolite, and I put it in a sandwich bag. And yeah, And then I have two more. I have one for the neighbor downstairs to do, and three more. One for the neighbor downstairs to do, one for my brother-in-law, and one for the caretaker, and then my other sister and her family. Then I have to start theirs, right? Each one takes me about an hour to do, right? Yeah, that's yeah. Oh, wonderful, Sharon. Thank you. Yeah, that's like really all of us, right? All of us here, like just one thing after another. We're like the misfit toys and at Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know that island when they go to Toy Island there, right? Island of Misfit Toys. That's what it was called, right? We're the misfit toys, all of us, right? I've never suffered aches and pains. I'm very grateful, but I attribute it. Like I swear. It's positive affirmations, right? It was just me declaring all the time, oh, I got such great health. I'm a fat girl, but wow, I'm so healthy. I'm such a healthy fat girl, and I would say that, a couple of times a week and believed it, right? And look at me, like, I take absolutely no medication. I've never had a headache in my whole life, never had a bleeding nose. I did crush my wrist in a dishwasher once, but I've never broken bones, right? I've never broken bones, right? Yeah. I've had some emotional, right? Those illnesses, right? But I've never had the physical, and I'm so grateful, and if I could take some of yours, because I can carry some of that load. I can carry some of that load, right? And I would happily take some of that load off of you guys, so at least you could just get a little bit of rest, right? Just even if it's just for a little bit of time, so you can get some rest. Me too, Sharon. Me too, right? It was like a community, but everyone had a different little thing, different, and in the end, all those toys went to the right children, didn't they? They got their love in their end anyway, right? Yeah. So yeah, me too, Sharon. Oh, for sure, Andrew, for sure. You're on top of it. You know exactly, right? And you keep on, right? It's just a matter of, delving, searching for that information, It's out there, right? You'll find exactly what you need, Andrew. Yeah, Nancy, go lay down, and yeah, we know you're there. Thank you so much for popping in. But yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself for sure. Oh, see, just a sweetie. Yeah, yeah. David would have liked to have seen her, right? David from our Franciscan monk from Mexico, right? He would have, because he was praying for Nancy too. He would have for sure thrown a thought. And he's been working so hard, right? He's been working so hard. He was saying, like, he's doing exorcisms and he's doing all his services and praying, and as much as he can, he's doing on the phone and online and stuff, right? He's all pooped out and tired, right? Yeah, that's it's nice. It's nice that there's people out there that actually care, right? Like, actually care, and will wear themselves down to the bones like that, right? To make sure, like, others. Look at me. See, what did I tell you about my dinner? My dinner. I doubt if they're warm even. No, they're cold. I knew they would be. I should have known better, though. They're not bad, but they're just coating, right? Yeah, I think I'll make a can of soup instead, or something like that. Maybe a little bit less calories. I'm sure I got something yummy. Oh, I got wieners. I bought wieners. Yeah, I'm gonna have wieners. I'm gonna have wieners tonight for supper. What do you have on sound on vid on old vid? I'm looking back here. Oh, the movie. It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? Was it Rudolph the Red-Nosed? I think it was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? Yeah, it was. I used to love those movies. Christmas comes along, right? We were all about the Christmas shows, right? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah. And I used to like those, Ernest Does Christmas, right? Oh, I used to love those Ernest movies. Yeah, those were from the 80s, right? Those were really good movies. Mm. See, and I'm still eating them, and I said I didn't want them, and I'm still picking at them. So, I told this story on my Instagram earlier today. You might find it interesting. So, the lesson was a stranger, and then tell your story of a stranger, right? This is a task for you guys too. And Andrew, and if you don't tell one here, like make sure you email me and tell me yours, right? Who's the stranger you still remember? Like a stranger you came who touched you in your life, right? And left an imprint that you actually throw them a thought every once in a while, right? And then so you do that, and then you find the connections between them, right? So the first one that I did was a gentleman that was a friend of my sister's when she was living in Saskatchewan, right? And he was studying, and he wanted to go to the States to go one of the famous universities there to be a neurosurgeon, right? And he had to go through the embassy because he was from Taiwan or China or something like that, right? And my sister phoned me from Saskatchewan and asked if he could come here because he had to be in Winnipeg, and he was just going to leave for school. If he got accepted, he would just leave from there, and he would only be a few days. And I said yes, right? And this gentleman, he came and stayed with me for 3 days. He got all his work done and everything, right? And we had great conversations. He was great company, right? And yeah, in just a couple of days we didn't become good friends or anything, but we were very friendly, and we were glad to have that interaction because I never did see him after he left, right? But he did get accepted to go to the States, and he took me out for dinner to a Hindu restaurant, right? We had some Hindu food. And I gave him a book that belonged to my dad, and it was the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, right? And it was full of quotes and everything. And I gave it to him, and I never saw him again after that, right? But about 10 years later, his mother sent me a book with a letter from him saying, thank you very much for, let me come and stay at your house for those days. It impacted my life. I'm a neurosurgeon now. My dreams came true, and I was thinking about you, and I thought, I had this book, and I thought maybe you would like to have this book back. So he sent me back my dad's book, right? I never kept it. Like, I don't have the book now. So somewhere along the line, it eventually got lost or thrown out or something, probably, but that was my first incident with a stranger, right? And I don't remember his name even, right? My sister would know, but I don't remember his name. And then the second one was a lady who was a follower, right? And one of the classes I said, I was learning about abundance and manifestation and stuff, right? And they were saying, like, you got to visualize, right? So much money, you don't know what to do with it. Think of all the wonderful things you're going to do and how it's overflowing. And then he said, well, now whatever's overflowing and dripping off and wasting, right? You want to wish that out to somebody, right? Wish that out to somebody, but it has to be a stranger. It has to be somebody you don't know, right? And I didn't know her. I knew her because she follows a whole bunch of people I follow, right? but I didn't know her myself. So I picked her, and then I followed her just because if it does succeed, right, I would like to see how it impacted her life, right? How magnificent it made her life, right? So that was my second one. And the third one was a gentleman I met downtown. He was low income. He was living in assisted living and housing and stuff. And he was fixing statues and art pieces in the churches, right? And in exchange for the churches letting him make emails and do things with the computer and stuff. So in return, he did repairs, and he fixed up and created art, religious art for them, right? And he did it out of old jewelry and stuff. And I had a ton of jewelry. My sister used to get it in the auction. She gave me a great big bin. So yeah, I went and I gave him all my arts and crafts materials, everything: glue gun, scissors, paint, fabric, all my rolled wires, all everything. I gave him all my beads, everything. I gave him everything, plus his big bin of jewelry, so he could do all that work. And then we were supposed to figure out, how did it all connect, right? Like and it turned out like we just all had just a really nice interaction, right, that impacted and made it so that we remembered each other forever, right? Like I'll remember those three strangers forever, no matter how it worked out or whether or not I ever see them or hear from them again, right? But yeah, it was an interesting task, right? It was interesting because we impacted each other's lives a little bit, right? A little bit positively along the way, right? So maybe that was the lesson of the whole thing. But yeah, he was, and it wasn't so much all the arts and crafts, Andrew? It wasn't, and there was a lot. I had boxes. I took him boxes and boxes of stuff, right? Tons of, I think I even took him all my costumes, because I think my costumes had a lot of beads and stuff on it. And I thought maybe he could like pluck them off and stuff. But yeah, he was an absolute sweetheart. His mother was one of the original settlers in a town. I can't remember the name of the town. And he was telling me stories of his mother and his childhood. And, he shed a few tears, and he was a collector of antique tins. And we had an amazing conversation, right? And it was an amazing interaction that we had, but I never talked to him again. I never saw him again, right? After that. So it was interesting, right? Having interactions with strangers, that actually will make an impact on you, right? Make you a better person, like right now, provide a lesson that might provide value to somebody else out here as I'm telling the story, right? So I just thought it was interesting. I just thought it was interesting, right? Oh, for sure, Andrew, for sure. And even the little kids, right? When the little kids, and the parents go, "Oh, say thank you," and then the kids say thank you, right? I always make such a big deal of it, right? Manners and etiquette are a big part of what I do, because it's about how you treat everybody, right? And it's just about, using the manners, and using a little bit of kindness, right? Because that happened to me along the way too. And I remember those incidences, right? And when you remember those incidences, it makes you want to pass it on, right? And do a little kindness for somebody else, right? No, you can't use friends, because I would have chosen one of my sisters, or one of my peers, right? Or some of there are a few people that I know that could have used that. Well, I know lots of people that could have used that, but yeah, they specifically wanted somebody you didn't know, right? And I could have thought more. I thought of those quite quickly, right? Like two of them were pretty much in the past few years, and then the other one was, yeah, quite. But there were lots, right? There were lots of strangers that influenced me, along the way, right? You just bump into them, you might just talk on the phone even, right? Or at the coffee shop in the lineup grabbing a coffee, right? It was like me at Safeway the other day with that lady in the wheelchair, just having a nice conversation about the plant she had just bought, right? But it probably, she got home and she got to her table and she's rearranging her little flower and she probably remembered our conversation. She probably went to her cupboard and got herself a little doily or something, right? To really, really enjoy it. We have a plant in the big window in our hallway, right? And I try to keep water in it because nobody takes care of it. I don't even know if it's going to come back alive. I don't even know, but I watered it. I watered it today. It was so dry, right? And I just watered it, but the sun's been coming out in that window, so it needs more water. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on it to see if I see any green from it, right? I've been saving the ladybugs that get into the house. I don't know if they're hibernating in the walls or what it is because I found like three ladybugs, right? And alive too. So I've been like yeah, I had a strange experience with one. See, I had a ladybug on my front room window, and I just cleaned my windows, right? And I saw the ladybug on the window, and oh, it just must be coming out of hibernation. I'm going to give it some water and something to eat. So I just dipped my fork in the water, and then I dipped my fork in the cat food, and then I tapped the window right where the ladybug was, so that the water and the cat food would kind of stick on the window, and I would just take a Windex and just wipe it later, right? And right away, I just missed it by just a speck, and it moved over to the water and sat on the droplet and sat on the cat food and stood there for maybe 10 minutes and ate and drank and everything, and then I scooped it up on a piece of paper, and I didn't want to put it outside because it's still too cold for the ladybugs outside, right? But I wanted it in the spot like where the cat wasn't going to make it a little moving snack or something, right? But then I went to get the bottle of Windex to clean the window, and the strangest thing happened. I have double windows. I have double glass on my windows, and I went to wipe the mark off where the water and the cat food kind of dribbled down. That spot is on the outside of the window. Like I can't get this. I can't clean the spot. I can't clean the spot. It's on the outside. Like how did that happen? I saw the ladybug sitting on the water droplet and the cat food eating. I saw it, right? And I scooped that ladybug up, right? I knew, yeah. Like it's odd, right? Like maybe I made a mistake. Maybe a bird smashed into the window and that's a spot. But I'm pretty certain that, yeah. Yeah. So that was it. It was just kind of strange. It was probably maybe a cat, a bird flew into my window. It happens. My windows are nice and clean now. You wouldn't even tell that there was a window there. Oh yeah, you come off as somebody like that too, eh? Who would like to do that with the clippings. Yeah, we had a poinsettia that was pretty old. Like, yeah, like somebody saved it from a Christmas, and then it just stood around. Like, you can actually take that poinsettia and it can dry completely out, throw it in the basement, and then bring it up, in September and start watering it. And then Christmas time there would be a poinsettia. I think after a while it didn't grow any more flowers on, or like the red leaves or anything. But yeah, I remember that poinsettia. They live forever, right? If you really want to, because people always throw them out after Christmas. But if you wanted to keep the poinsettias, they can live for a long time, right? Really? Mosquitoes go that high? 103rd floor. Yeah, I was trying to think. to go down 2 miles, how many feet is in 2 miles? I had to Google it, right? Does anybody know the answer without Googling it off the top of your head? How many feet are in 2 miles? I was really, really surprised. Yeah, I was really surprised. See if anybody gets it right. They'll probably cheat and Google it. It was 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is 2 miles, right? Yeah. I was looking at old abandoned mines, right? Up north. There's lots of old mines. You can actually prospect. I want to go rock hounding this summer, right? I want to go and see if I can find crystals or find some garnets or find some there's lots of really amethyst. There's lots of amethyst in northern Manitoba and northern Ontario, right? So amethyst is really nice. I would love to go rock hounding for crystals. Oh, one of the plants you didn't throw away, Sharon. Oh, really? That's odd, isn't it? That rain goes up. Yeah. But how is Sid doing, Sharon? How is Sid doing? Is Sid doing good? Yeah, I'd be so worried for you guys to get the flu, right? Like I just don't understand. Wow. Yeah, I'm just looking at yeah, Andrew, you're just like such a yapper. It's so interesting, right? And then I'll get an email later on too, and he'll write me a nice letter too, right? Of things that have been going on in the during the place. He was telling me spooky stories of things that go on in the on in the university he works at, right? And part of where he's working is a old part of a school, and he was telling me about the noises he hears and stuff, right? Yeah. My mother one time, we lived in this house and it had a suite in the basement, and except that it didn't have no way to go in from like the main house. It had an out exterior entrance, and me and my sister used it as our bedroom, right? And one night my mother pretended to be the murderer raper, right? And she went from window to window, and yeah, she terrorized me. Oh, for a couple of hours anyway. It was like the scariest experience anyway. I really thought somebody was, and I was yelling for my mom, somebody upstairs to come down and rescue me. Like and nobody was coming, and like every window was rattling, and then you could see legs from one window to another, and you just freaked me right out, right? That was just and she thought it was funny. And she thought it was funny. I didn't think it was funny. It was very scary. Oh, oh, good. I bet you were worried with laryngitis. It might have had the same kind of symptoms, right? As the flu, and him working at the airport too, right? Yeah. Yeah, you for sure, Sharon, will be glad this is all done, right? Yeah, you must worry lots about your son, right? And plus your neighborhood. I tell you, people they don't care. Like I met somebody, I bumped into somebody who just didn't care that there was a flu going on, right? It wasn't going to interfere with his life in any way, right? He just did not care. And he was going to take as many people down with him as he could. You could just see it in his eyes. Yeah. Yeah. And there are people like that out there, right? Like even today, like when I ran into the store to grab my coffee mate, right? There was a couple there, and they were I guess they had more than a few, and they had a dog. They took the dog into the grocery store. I didn't even know that was legal, but yeah, they were really really drunk, and they were just like all over everybody, like all over everybody, right? And there's lots of people in the world like that. I don't know how we can possibly get and could we could do a controlled, right? We can control it, right, by everybody taking their turn. Right, everybody taking their turn, and then it's just luck of the draw who gets to survive, who doesn't. Like, yeah, don't give me a choice, because I'm not participating, right? I'm staying safe no matter what. I'm staying safe. I got plans. I got plans. Oh yeah. Yeah, I bet you were oh, too, the fever and headache too. Oh, so he had, yeah, darn, eh? Yeah, that must have been really, how much notice before he took the test to when you found out that he was negative? Was it pretty fast, or did it make you suffer for a day or two in trying to find out? Oh, and the persistent cough. Yeah, not good. Yeah. And it's hard. And I was thinking about that today when I'm biking. They're opening up the city. They're opening up the city, and they're putting extra bike paths and walking paths and stuff. And then I was riding today, and I was at least 20 feet. Um, oh, look at this. Top post. Corona beer stops production because Mexican government says breweries are among non-essential businesses. So if you guys like Corona beer, you better get your Corona right away, because the prices are going to be going really, really high, right? Like lots of people like Coronas, right? Yeah, non-essential. That's gonna be a tough one, right? If you start playing around with the liquor stores, right, or the pot stores, or yeah, like I can understand like the exercise places, right? Or you like the Dollaramas and stuff like that. Like those are essential for low income people, right? Those are essentials for the low income people. Lots of people, I do. I buy sugar there. I buy my pasta there. I buy tomato sauce there. I buy my Pam there, like my Click. I like Click. I fry it up. I should have bought some when I was at the store, so I don't get none this week, right? Because I've already been to the store. I won't do it again, right? So yeah, I picked up 2 bags of rice, and hmm, I bought a few things, but yeah, my sister says we'll go do something. We'll go do something this weekend, right? And yeah, so it'll be, and me being in that program, I'll probably be placed right away. So I'm gonna have to get a webcam that properly works, because I have to work online. I'm not gonna be out in public right now. I can't do it, right? Yeah. Yeah, go out, do the quick runs, right? Take that stress, right? And let's get rid of this flu. Let's learn our lesson, right? And be prepared, a little bit better prepared for when the next time it happens, right? That was something else. Like, I haven't even been in to see the numbers today. I don't even know what it's like. I know Manitoba has been pretty decent, but it just takes one, right? They were going to start doing stuff this week, and I said, "Are you kidding me? Easter just happened. Like those colds are just going to start surfacing." And sure enough, yeah, everybody got a little peak from the Easter. So you can tell anybody who's got that flu right now that they got it at Easter dinner, and hopefully everybody at Easter is going to be fine, right? Yeah, and then when they get better, hopefully they tell their story, what happened, and then you stop other gatherings from happening, right? Yeah, I hope they don't open the churches up. I hope the churches stay online for a while, right? I hope the churches stay online. I bet you a lot of churches might even go online permanently, right? Maybe not, because churches, in person is easier for collection and stuff, for money, right? People will tend not to give as much online, right? Because you're not seeing, right, when you're actually put, right there, and somebody sees you, what you're putting in the tray. That's a little bit different story, right? I'm looking forward to the library opening too, right? Because they have a great program for me where I got an editor, and I can do some patch. I want to make some patches and stuff with my brand, right? Yeah. And that way I can send patches out to everybody, right? Wouldn't everybody like a patch that says Prairie Dodgers, right? They have that machine where I can actually embroider it, right? And I just have to pay for the the threads, right? So I'm going to make some patches too. So that will be pretty exciting. I'm going to make them black, and then I'm going to have my brand across them, right? Oh, really? Yeah, I hear they're starting the operations up again. We don't have enough cases in the hospitals, right? They canceled all the operations. See, they even canceled my to get my cat fixed and everything. They canceled all of that, right? But now they're starting up the hospitals again, because that they have some beds and stuff. They can get some stuff done, right? But why not make one hospital, totally for the virus, if it's got 1,000 beds, right? And it's one hospital, just say everything goes to this hospital will be about the virus. And then you can contain the virus in the hospital, because nobody except for the staff and the patients have the virus. There's no elective surgeries, nobody else in there being sick for anything else, right? And then everybody knows that hospital is for the flus only, right? And that way it's easy to sanitize too when it's all over and done with. You just go in and just fume out, bag the whole building, and just fume the whole thing, right? Yeah, it's a mess. This is definitely probably one of the worst catastrophes in Canada, and we're not even a fraction hit like the States is, right? You know that they should have been on those flights like immediately, right? Right? Yeah, it's you know, and then the president, I'm not even gonna wear my mask. And like, look at what's going on. Like, I can't shoot blame and stuff. It's easy, right? It's easy for us to sit in a chair and just say blah 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 blah. This is so and so's fault, right? But yeah, I'd much rather try and be part of the solution. But it's not like I'm a doctor. All I can do is help to keep everybody cheery if I can, right? Help people, everybody to be cheery, and just pass what little bit of information I come across in the meantime along the way, right? Oh, well, I nobody should actually depend on that money. You don't know if this is going to just crash the whole system, and they're just going to have to say, I think probably what would best for them to do is just to write debt off, right? Everybody's credit cards are taken care of, the bills, everybody's taken care of. Let's start at zero, right? Right? What is that? Socialist? Go the socialist route for a little while, right? Is there anything wrong with the Socialist Party? Right? If everybody has the same income at that time, would the city get back on its on its feet a little bit better if we kind of took that socialist kind of aspect, or do we depend more on the rich, and on charity, and on people to have a good heart to help lift others up along the way, right? You know, or get into the reserve and see what kind of money. I mean, money can be printed, right? I don't know the specifics, but you need $50 billion, like, print it, you know, If the system crashes, the system crashes, because the system is supposed to crash anyway, right? Everybody's worrying about the system, right? And they're not worrying about each other instead, right? So they put all that effort into saving the system, and the system just crashes anyway, right? Bone spurs, bone spurs. Oh, can I get you started, Sharon? I don't know anything. What does bone spurs, Dr. Bone Spurs mean? What does that mean? Is that something to do with Trump? Dr. Bone Spurs, bone spurs. Yeah, I want to know what that means. What that means. Oh, to make the healthcare private again. Just when you guys got on the system too, like, it's unfortunate, right? But at the same time, aren't you guys grateful that you guys did have that insurance, right? Right? Like, didn't it just come just at the most perfect time for everybody? I mean, it's not your guys' fault, right? Right? You paid into it, it's yours, right? Like, yeah, now you guys hold up your end of the bargain, right? Yeah, for sure. Oh, did he now? Because they're capitalists themselves, eh? No. What? Don't say that, Andrew. That's not true, is it? $700? That's not correct. How can that be correct? $700 a month for insurance? How is that even possible? Here in Manitoba, like, we pay our taxes, right? But we don't pay for health care. We don't pay for it. Like, it's not something we have to worry about here, right? If we need to see a doctor, we go see a doctor, and we don't worry about it, right? Oh, that is that's incredible. Like, how? Like, like, does the assistance help with that? 700, that just seems crazy. Wow. And you need that, Andrew. You need that 700. Wow. That is really incredible. Yeah, that's what Obama did good, right? He did good by bringing you guys the health insurance, right? I couldn't imagine, not being able to have insurance. It would be it would be nerve wracking, right? Lots of people would die because they couldn't afford to go to the doctor. They would much rather lay in bed and waste away, right, than going to see a doctor just to find out it was something simple, that, for a $25 bottle of pills, that they could have saved their life, right? But because they couldn't afford the insurance to start with, that they never went. That's something else. That is something else. Right. Wow. Hey, I wonder if I qualify for anything like what I'm on now was supposed to be only temporary. It was just place place me in a job, right? It was just give me a little bit of training, just so I could get placed in a position, right? But yeah, I wonder now that it's been a while. Like, I need glasses, I need dental really bad. Like, yeah, I'm not even wearing the proper prescription, and it has scratches. They're just not good lenses at all, right? Yeah. Yeah, I do need a little bit. I do need a little bit, right? But it all comes, right? You slowly get these things, as you can, right? Yeah, that's incredulous. That I can't believe that much for insurance. That's got to be something, and that's mostly for your brother, Andrew. Is that what it is? Do you have power of attorney, Andrew, for your brother? I would assume that you have power of attorney. I don't know. Yeah, that is really. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know what the medical systems are like in other countries and stuff. Like I knew our system was really good, and I know that it was so good that they kind of sort of based it kind of like what you guys on our your guys' medical system. They kind of based your insurance on what we were doing, right? But you guys were really paying into it, right? And I know there are provinces here. Like I know when I was in Edmonton, I was paying like $60 every 2 months for my health insurance. But again, if I needed anything, it was taken care of, right? Here in Manitoba, you don't pay that, right? It's all included in your taxes. That's 700 is just all you, Andrew? That is really wow. Wow. Isn't that you know, yeah, you got to appreciate the Americans, right? They live in a beautiful country, right? And they have so much going on for them, but then they have these little things that kind of make me go, Canada's not so bad, right? Canada's not so bad. We have a lot of nature here still, right? We don't have that high. I was really surprised to hear that there's more people in California than there are in all of Canada, right? Wow. Aw. Yeah. I wish I could have had tons of money. I could have shown you an amazing time here, Sharon. I felt bad that I wasn't able to do that for you, but I'm glad that you thought Canada was lovely, right? Yeah. And I'll be going for those walks. Now I got my bike, right? I'll be bike riding up to the forest and going for walks in the forest. I'll be sure to send you some videos this fall with the rattling leaves and stuff as we walk through the forest, right? Yeah, I couldn't believe like all that walking you did. Now, how are you feeling, Sharon? How have your legs been doing, right? Yeah, you were doing so much exercise. Like you would never have known that you had problems with the walking and stuff because you did so much of it while you were here. But yeah, how have your legs been doing? And yours too, Andrew. How are your knees been doing? Oh, that's nice of you to say, Sharon. That is nice, right? But sometimes we don't want content. We want amazing, dazzle, and amaze, right? Yeah. And when this is all done and you got your passport, right? Like, yeah, if we're not too nervous, like, yeah, maybe you should be planning a trip, get that trip to Scotland in or something, right? But yeah, Andrew, that's amazing, right? 700, like I could live a whole month on $700. And will your insurance pay for that, Andrew? The physical therapy and stuff? Will it pay for that, or do you pay extra for that too on top of it? Yeah, I just don't understand. And then they're talking about private. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing in the States. I just don't understand. There's not really that unity, right? What happens when you guys like there's World War III or something like that, right? Like there'd be mutinies and what do you call that? MOAs, right? People just taking off and stuff, right? From the army because nobody has that loyalty just to stick it out and think the same and work the same, right? Oh, well, that's good. That's good, Andrew. That's good. Yeah, me too. They're not letting you go to the grocery stores either, Sharon. Yeah, they're letting us go to the grocery stores, but the weather is really nice here. It's like summer now, right? Like today was like summer. There were lots and lots of people. But that's what I was gonna say. I was on my bike, and then about 20 feet ahead of me, where there was a couple on their bikes, right? And I thought, well, what if one of them has the cold, the flu, and they cough, and I'm right behind them, and I go into that, what do you call that, backwind, right, into the wave that's behind, and all those particles are in the, and then I ride my bike right through that, and then I get the flu too, right? Yeah, lots of stuff to consider. Yeah, this all still makes me a little bit nervous, right? Yeah. Okay, everybody. That's our show tonight. I just thought, like, Wednesdays while the flu's going on and stuff, that we would do a little bit extra so that people could just kind of, you know, dump the stuff, that maybe you could just carry on a little bit easier during the course of the week if you could just, talk it out and stuff, right? Everybody's stuck in the house, and nothing to really entertain yourselves except for the computer, watching YouTube videos and watching stuff on TV. I don't have a TV, but just piddling around. But yeah, it's nice. I hope everybody is doing good, right? Oh, that's good to hear, Sharon, right? That you're able still to see your son and stuff. But yeah, once a month, right? Once a month. And I'm sure he worries for you lots. Yeah, you take care of yourself. Your son would be absolutely heartbroken without you, Sharon. Be absolutely heartbroken without you. Okay, everybody. That's my live tonight. We'll see you Sunday night. If you want to come and watch me live, I'm on Instagrams at 5 o'clock every day. Have a great night. See you Sunday, everybody. Bye-bye.